Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, doing a quick raw iPhone review. Getting some albums out of the way that I wanted to talk about to you guys and make sure I got some thoughts out on. In this new Chris Stapleton album, I wanted to cover this week. Didn't want this record to slip through the cracks over here. The record is From a Room, Volume 1. Now, Chris Stapleton, a country artist who I'm not going to say I'm terribly familiar with. I mean, I sort of listened to a bit of his previous record to sort of prepare for what I was going to say about this album over here. This is kind of my first full album experience with Chris's music. And overall, I would say it's pretty positive. I mean, in comparison with his last record, this new one seems kind of short. I do think some of the ballads on this record are a little too low key. You know, could have used a bit more punch coming from the instrumentation, and I think could have used a little bit more conviction vocally. I'll also say that the Death Row track that the album ends off with, I like the idea, the concept of that track, but I think the song could have been bigger as far as like a lyrical statement and could have had a grander instrumental presentation. I mean, we're talking about Death Row here, and it is the final song on the record. It does kind of seem like the album sort of goes out with a whimper. But the Willie Nelson cover on this thing is great. The Second One to Know track on this thing is great, and some of the other ballads are actually really well performed. Chris's voice is fantastic. He has lots of range, lots of volume, lots of power. I think maybe they try to overemphasize that a little bit by stripping the instrumentation back a little bit more than I think it needs to be, so that when he reaches into those highs, it seems so much more significant. I think his voice would sound amazing with a stronger bass line of instrumentation under him, regardless. But that being said, I do think this is a pretty decent record, you know, and it's always worth stopping to appreciate and celebrate when you have a new rising star in the contemporary country scene who's making waves and is getting attention and is winning over country fans left and right, but isn't sort of playing by the strict commercial by the number cookie cutter rules, because you know he is certainly rootsier than a lot of those commercial country artists are that you'll run across these days, and certainly more diverse and varied too. You know, if you like that last Sturgill Simpson record that dropped last year, you're going to like a lot of things about this album. You know, not only are you going to like the ballads, you're going to like the moments on this record where Chris mixes a little bit of soul into his country stylings, and you're going to like the southern rock numbers on this record too, or at least the southern rock number on this record too. You know, he certainly has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. It's not just a straight, you know, plain Jane country album. You know, if you're looking for an album that's more of a standard country affair, you know, listen to the new Willie Nelson record, you know, which isn't bad. That's a decent record too. You know, also the track about these stems at the end of the record too is probably one of the better I guess smoke up country songs I've heard in a while. It's been a while since I've heard a country song singing about smoking weed. Probably the last time I was listening to some outlaw country or something. But Chris isn't really categorized as an outlaw country artist. So again, all that being said, very good record, very decent record. A lot of good things about this album. Wish it was just longer. Wish there was just a bit more, material here. Would have made the album more satisfying, and I wish there was just a little bit more, punch to some of these low-key ballads. Either flesh them out into songs that are a bit more lively, or give us a climax, give us some kind of place to progress to in the song. But, you know, regardless, the instrumentation, production is pretty quality. Vocal performances from Chris, you know, are for the most part good. Seems like, you know, he's well on his way to continue dropping some good country records, and just wanted to put out this video, make you guys aware of him if you aren't already, and, you know, maybe if you are but haven't tried his music out yet, please, you know, what are you waiting for? As far as like quality country artists out there today who are doing something that's true to the genre, true to the sound, while also, you know, varying it up a bit and bringing in some new, genres, or bringing in some different genres, rather. Not that he's the first artist to ever mix country and soul. He's not. But bringing in some different genres, really testing his own versatility as a country artist. Look him up. Look him up. So yeah, there you have it. Link down below where you can hear some music from this record. Let me know what you thought of this album in the comments if you gave it a shot, and I will catch you guys in the next video forever.